Welcome to the Creating Wealth Podcast, where Kyle Curtin takes you on an extraordinary journey alongside renowned multifamily real estate sponsors and syndication experts from every corner of the United States. We teach you how to harness the power of passive real estate investing and witness the transformation of your wealth building strategy. Let's create wealth together.
What's going on, guys? This is Kyle from the Creating Wealth Podcast. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a pretty short episode, but one that introduces a concept that has been pretty instrumental to me since I came across it. And I first came across this principle, this idea, this perspective, this viewpoint, whatever you want to call it, in a book called 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. For those of you guys who are watching this little clip on YouTube, I'm holding it up right now. This is one of my favorite books that I've read in kind of a long time. And I read all the time, but this one was very, very pivotal, in the past 12, 18 months. But anyway, so the point that I'm making today, my friends, is in the first chapter, and it talks about Michaelangelo. Not the Ninja Turtle, but the artist from the Renaissance period, the sculptor, super crazy, wicked, talented dude. And when he was building or sculpting the statue of David out of the giant, cube of marble. And it says something in the book. It quotes him, but I like to think that he said it the way that he did, but you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to tell, but anyway. So when he is asked how he did it, Michaelangelo responds with, David was always in that cube of marble, right? It was simple. Like, I just took away all the parts that weren't David. And it sounds so simple, right? But really, take that, marinate on that idea for a minute, and think about that in comparison to you and your own life. Is it a matter of, through exponential growth, through, gradual growth, through pivoting, through adapting as, days, weeks, months, years go by? Are you actually adding anything to yourself, or are you just discovering parts of yourself that were already there, and discovering these superpowers that you already have? And it's something that I think about a lot, right? Because how much are you really capable of, right? There's no way to tell until you're actually doing it. You know what I mean? When he said, David was always there, I just took away all the parts that weren't him. Just really let that set in for a moment. Think about the type of person that you could be if, you had negative relationships that, were eliminated from your life, self-limiting beliefs that were eliminated, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. If all of those, very, very common parts of the human entrepreneurial experience, think about what you could end up like by eliminating the parts of you that don't serve you. And this is something that I think about often. I mean, a little example is, you guys know how much I love my Jason time, or my me time on Sundays. I usually walk around a pond in Woburn and have my headphones on, or, earbuds in, whatever. And it's literally one of my most, favorite things to do in the entire world. Well, I'll tell you, I think about this principle a lot. What's mentioned in this book about Michaelangelo, especially when it comes to that kind of time, because what I mean is, all of us have, to some degree, maybe a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of, being overwhelmed, of maybe tension with maybe, certain relationships in our lives, like, I feel like we all, kind of have something that's always, top of mind and that type of thing, right? And I'll tell you, like, for me, I feel like it kind of like collects in my chest. And that's probably how it is for most people as well, you know what I mean? But when I'm walking around the pond and I just am breathing and thinking and just allowing my mind to free itself and go blank, at the end of a week prior to starting another week, it allows me to access a level of thought that you can't normally get access to while the hustle and bustle of our daily lives is going on, and it's an incredibly powerful thing. And that's, I feel like, a physical version of this principle that I, personally like to kind of match up, and it's removing the parts of me that, have, the overwhelm and the doubt and, um, the negativity and the imposter syndrome and all these things, and allowing you to just kind of like level off on a plane that's like completely free. Allow your mind to run. Like, nobody's gonna like shoot you down or anything like that. Like, there's nothing negative that's going on in your world for a very short amount of time. And this is something that I think about often, especially that damn statue of David, man. Like, the statue is always there, but it's just removing the parts of you that are not, you know. Think about it when it comes to habits too. I mean, for me, I, started going to the gym every weekday. You know what I mean? And because my body was tight, I was in, pretty crappy shape, you know what I mean? And like I just felt gross. I just didn't feel good, you know what I mean? Like physically, you know what I mean? Like my body was like gross and I was tired as hell all the time and that kind of thing. And basically removing that variable from my own being, um essentially removing that identity of somebody that doesn't go to the gym and that kind of thing has been incredibly powerful, from shifting that to somebody that is incredibly active, that goes to the gym 5 days a week, you know and it's just removing parts of your life that don't serve you, and jumping onto, and grasping new identities that you wish to be a part of your vision. It can be a pretty powerful thing, because like you never know, what you can actually end up like. And like, this is the thing that's interesting, is like I never would have freaking thought that, I could achieve ultimate peace, at least once a week, if not, more. If like, oh my god, it would be crazy if I could like walk the pond every day. Holy shit. I couldn't even imagine. But basically, adapting different identities, removing old identities and versions of yourself and old habits and all these, negative things that sometimes kind of come through in our lives and everything. And just finding the statue of you that is already there, right? And carving out the parts that don't serve you. And I feel like this is a very applicable concept to many different areas of your life. I mean, I could probably go deep on relationships, different types of relationships. Everybody has something to say about, what you're doing in the entrepreneurial world, what you're doing in the real estate world. They might be incredibly beneficial. They might be incredibly negative. Basically creating that filter of the advice that you choose to accept versus the advice that you happily allow to go in one ear and out the other. That's one large aspect of it. I mean, you could boil it down to like diet and everything too. If like you're eating crappy like snacks and stuff all the time, I, have gotten drastically better in the past few months than what I was doing. It's a habit that didn't serve me. You know what I mean? It's like you make your body feel like shit, and you put on weight, or you just kind of get generally unhealthy and that type of thing. Or you don't allow yourself to basically, kind of release and clear your mind, and for me, that's that form of escapism is from, my Sunday walks, and for everybody that's something a little bit different, but it's allowing you to essentially like just be present with yourself and, allow you to think more about what that statue of David looks like. But it's going to be a statue of you, and how can you chip away the parts that don't serve you? Is it relationships? Is it bad physical, mental habits? Is it addictions? Is it consumption? I kind of have a problem with consumption when it comes to like social media, like TikTok and Facebook, and I'm trying to knock it. I know that's a very common one for many of us nowadays, but just think about the version of yourself that, and maybe like some negative habits that you might have or things that you want to change, and just give it some thought, be incredibly self-aware with yourself, in the habits that serve you and the ones that don't, and just think about the version of yourself that, you can essentially uncover because it's already there. The statue is already in the marble block, by chipping away at all the parts and the habits and the relationships and all these things that don't serve you. Your vision is already inside of you. And this is the incredible thing is like this, like I said, guys, like this is something that I've thought a lot about. And it's a concept that I'm, probably going to carry for the rest of my life is like, what Michaelangelo said. The damn statue was already in the block. It's easy. I just took away, or it's simple. I just took away all the parts that weren't David. Fucking boom. Like mic drop. Like, wow. But anyway, I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this. Shoot me a message on Facebook or something. Share this with a friend. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this little concept. Is it something that hit you like it hit me? Do you have a completely different mindset on this? I'm open to hearing it all. But as always, guys, if you could, please share this with a friend. Leave a rating and a review on the show. And I hope you have a fantastic day today. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. We're getting to Friday. 2 more days. Almost there. And we'll catch you all in the next one, my friends. Have a good day. Goodbye.
That's a wrap for today's episode. We want to thank you for being a valued listener of the Creating Wealth Podcast. Make sure to visit www.creatingwealth.com to connect with us. Dive into our ever-expanding library of informative blogs. Get access to our private investor portal and explore a wide range of additional valuable resources. Stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to create wealth together.